Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Nina. And today we're going to be covering part 1 of a symbol of Britain, the red phone box.
Okay, so I know that red phone box is something everyone associates with Britain, especially with like London,
Yes.
in the UK.
Indeed.
So, Nina, have you ever been to anywhere in Britain?
Yeah, well, actually, I lived in the UK for a little bit, for almost a year. And I worked in London on Baker Street.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so that was very expensive.
Okay, I guess so.
So yeah, I think they're known to be a very expensive country, right? England. And the weather wasn't always that great. It was always cloudy and rainy, and people are not that nice, or maybe not as nice as Taiwanese people are to foreigners.
Okay.
Maybe. But yeah, it was good for the time. Like, it was a short period, like less than a year. So I worked there for a little bit, and I'm back in Taiwan now.
So did you ever use a red phone box?
Well, yeah, I did. That was one of the first things I took a picture with.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
used it for the picture, but you didn't make a phone call, did you?
No, I didn't. I had my phone. So.
Right, okay.
So yeah, I think it's one of those things that is very iconic in London, right? And everybody just associates, they think of England when they look at that red phone box.
Yeah, last time I went to London, I also took a photo with the red phone box. But one thing I should have done
It's to try and call.
Well, just use my phone, but go into the box to use my own phone to call someone.
That would have been cool, yeah.
All right, we're going to learn about, these red phone boxes, where they came from, and where they're going when we get into our article after this.
Before cell phones, making calls out on the street wasn't easy for the public. They had to track down a payphone first. Luckily, payphones in London were easy to find because they were in big red telephone boxes.
Today, we are talking about an article called A Symbol of Britain, the Red Phone Box. Right,
Yes.
So this is a symbol of Britain. So what exactly is a symbol, Nina?
So a symbol is a noun, and it's a picture or thing that stands for something else. So in this case, the red phone box stands for Britain, right?
Stands for Britain. It's something
Exactly.
you think of Britain when you see the red phone box, or maybe when you think of Britain, you think of a red phone box.
Yeah, okay. So another example sentence would be, the heart is a symbol of love. That's true, right? When you send a heart to maybe your girlfriend, she would know that you love her, or that you are showing some type of love, right?
That's right.
So continuing with the article, before cell phones, making calls out on the street wasn't easy for the public. Yeah, that's true, because before cell phones, you had phones only at home, right?
Yeah, that's right. If you wanted to get a hold of someone, they had to be at home at the time you were trying to contact them.
Exactly.
It wasn't nearly as easy as today, where you can contact anyone at any time.
Anywhere.
Anywhere, that's
That is
right.
crazy.
Okay, so we talk about the public. The public is a noun, and it means a place where everyone can go. It's for all people. We have public, and the opposite is private. So private meaning that only some people can go there, it only belongs to some people, whereas the public is for everyone. So when we think about being outside on a street, that means you are out in public. And at those times, it was hard to phone someone when you're out in public.
Yeah, so an example sentence could be, the elevator for my building is for the public, but my house is private, right?
Right, that's
okay.
right. So continuing on, they had to track down a payphone first. Okay, so they have to track down.
Okay, so tracking down, it means to find something or someone by searching for them. So they had to track down a payphone, right? For example, the detective worked hard to track down the missing keys.
Okay, and they had to track down a payphone. So a payphone is one kind of phone, and it's a phone that you need to pay to use. So you can usually pay by money or sometimes using a credit card or using a calling card.
Yeah.
And it's something where you can think back when I was in elementary school, I would use these, and you take the phone off of the hook and you put in your coin and dial your number. And that's how I would maybe contact my parents when I was in elementary school and I had gone somewhere with my friends, but I needed a ride home. I needed to call them using a payphone.
So back then, you were in Canada, right?
That's right, and I would pay 25 cents for each call.
That's cool. And you had payphones all over the public streets, or?
Yeah, when I was young, it wasn't very difficult to find a payphone. So a lot of businesses would have a payphone.
Oh.
If you're in a shopping mall, there would always be a lot of payphones. But I think now when I go back to Canada, I can't see payphones anywhere. They're all gone now.
Yeah, well, now that we have cell phones, right? So continuing, luckily, payphones in London were easy to find because they were in big red telephone boxes. Yes, so the iconic red telephone box. I think everyone who goes to London will want to take a picture with that, right?
I think so, yeah. Those are very well known. So these telephone boxes, they have telephones inside. And a telephone is a machine that allows people to communicate using their voices, using talking, with the signal being sent through wire or over radio waves. So a traditional telephone would be one in your home that is connected to a wire to the wall usually, and you can phone people using that. But now we have cell phones, which is a different kind of telephone that we can use anywhere we are. And of course, this is often shortened to phone.
Exactly.
You can just say, use the phone.
Yeah. All right, so we learned a little bit about the red telephone boxes in London, but we will learn more after the break.
Today, these red phone boxes are symbols of British pop culture. The most famous model is the K2. It was designed by architect Sir Giles Gilbert Scott and turned 100 in 2024. Scott also designed the K6. It took the K2's place in 1935, and it's the most common red phone box now.
Welcome back, everyone. So before the break, we learned that in the past, it wasn't easy to call someone if they were out in the public, right? So like now we have cell phones, but back then you would have to use your telephone at home. So they had to track down payphones. And let's learn a little bit more about them.
Okay, yeah, we're going to learn about these red payphones and red payphone boxes that they had in Britain, which made them easier to find. Today, these red phone boxes are symbols of British pop culture. Okay, so pop culture. All right, pop is an adjective and it's a shortened form of the word popular. So when we talk about pop culture or popular culture, we mean the things or symbols that are recognized by most people. They're very popular. So most people will know what you mean when you describe one of these phone boxes from Britain. When you say the red phone box in London, most people will know exactly what you mean because it is part of pop culture.
Ooh, isn't it the same when you say pop music?
That's right. This term pop, which means popular music, we can also just shorten that to pop. Someone might ask you, what kind of music do you like? You can say, I like pop.
Yeah, if it's pop music, most likely most people know the songs,
That's
right?
true.
So continuing, the most famous model is the K2. It was designed by architect Sir Giles Gilbert Scott and turned 100 in 2024. Oh,
Okay, so these have been around for 100 years, or at least that model has been around for 100 years.
A long time. So architect is a noun and it is a person who plans and designs buildings. It's also something that I studied.
Okay.
I studied to be an architect. So for example, the architect drew the blueprints for the new school building.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting that, and I wouldn't think of an architect designing
A phone booth.
a phone booth, yeah.
Yeah.
So in here we're calling phone box, but we often also say phone booth to
Yeah,
mean
that's
these
true.
boxes where you call someone. But yeah, I didn't think it was part of an architect's job to design a phone box.
Yeah, well, I think architects are skilled with many skills aside from architecture. They also design inside houses and they design other things too.
That's right.
Okay.
Scott also designed the K6. It took the K2's place in 1935, and it's the most common red phone box now.
Okay, so now we have the K6, and it's the most common one. So I'm just guessing that when I was on the very touristy streets in London, the K6 is probably what I saw.
That might have been it, yeah.
Yeah, so the word design is a verb, and it means to plan how something will look or how it will be made. So for example, she will design a new dress for the fashion show.
Okay, so they've had a few different models of these red phone boxes. I don't know if I'd be able to tell the difference because I think when I thought they were all exactly the same when I was last in London, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just learned about that there are actually different ones. So maybe next time I'm in London, I have to go try and find all of the different models and get a picture of each of them.
Okay, and maybe you can study to see what K2 and K6 looks like. So when you're there, you can identify them. You can say which one that one is.
I can impress other people. I'll be like, hey, that is the K6.
I'm sure people would love to know.
All right, well, we're going to learn more about these phone boxes and what's going to happen to them in the future when we get into our next episode next time, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
Before cell phones, making calls out on the street wasn't easy for the public. They had to track down a payphone first. Luckily, payphones in London were easy to find because they were in big red telephone boxes. Today, these red phone boxes are symbols of British pop culture. The most famous model is the K2. It was designed by architect Sir Giles Gilbert Scott and turned 100 in 2024. Scott also designed the K6. It took the K2's place in 1935, and it's the most common red phone box now.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 symbol 名词象征。The dove is often seen as a symbol of peace. 鸽子常被视为和平的象征。Dove 指的是鸽子。下一个单字 public 名词民众大众，我们习惯用 the public。The museum is open to the public. 这个博物馆对民众开放。下一个单字 telephone 名词电话。I didn't hear the telephone ringing. 我没有听到电话响起。最后一个单字 pop 形容词流行的。Pop culture is everything that people are interested in or are talking about. 流行文化是日常生活中人们感兴趣或谈论的一切事物。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 make a call 打电话。Call 指的是通话，除了搭配 make 以外，其他常见的搭配动词有 get、receive。例如说 get a call 或者是 receive a call 指的是接到来电 ，return a call 指的是回电 ，answer a call 指的是接听电话。我们来看看这个例句 ：I need to make a call to arrange a meeting。我需要打个电话安排一个会议。下一个文法 turn 100， 满100岁。turn 在这里指的是达到某个年纪，后面接的数字表示岁数。我们来看看这个例句 ：Sue got married when she turned 20. Sue 在她满20岁时结婚了。最后一个文法 A takes B's place，A 取代代替 B， 这是一个固定用法，意思相同于 A takes the place of B。我们来看看这个例句 ：Peter was sick, so Brian took his place.Peter 生病了，所以 Brian 代替了他。以上就是这一课重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Hey, 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 it's Kiwi on the street. Winnie, you're looking at the wrong camera.
Oh, sorry. I'm vlogging right now.
Vlogging? Like video logging?
Yes, exactly. I want to remember these memories forever.
Oh, okay. Well, today we are going to work on some portmanteaus, which are two words created into one. Let's go.
Bye-bye.
It's time for some portmanteaus. Okay, what two words make up brunch?
Breakfast and lunch. Breakfast and lunch. Brunch.
So what two words make brunch?
Breakfast and lunch. Breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast and lunch, very good. What about smog?
Smoke and fog. Smoke and fog? Smoke and fog.
Very good. Smoke and fog. What did we learn today? Today we learned some portmanteaus, which are two words combined to make one new word. So let's take a look at each of them. Our first one is brunch, which is breakfast plus lunch. An example sentence would be, I woke up at 11:30 a.m. I missed breakfast, so now I'm going to have brunch. Our next word is smog, which is smoke plus fog. So an example sentence would be, there is so much smog in the city from the air pollution of the cars and motorbikes. And these are the portmanteaus we learned today. Kiwi later.